As officials meet to crack down on illegal guns, the mayor also wants, as you just heard, to roll back some criminal justice reforms. Let's talk about that with an advocate who fought long and hard for those reforms, Stanley Richards, Deputy CEO of the Fortune Society and former Vice Chair of the city's Department of Corrections. Mr. Richards, appreciate your time tonight. Good to see you. You know, you're one of the boldest names in the fight for criminal justice reform. And now with the murders of 2 police officers, some, including the mayor, say initiatives like bail reform may have gone too far. Your response to critics who want the state legislature to undo that hard work that you did?
Yeah, good evening, Cheryl. It's good to be with you. You know, the loss of life, any life, community members, police officers, it's a tragic, tragic event for our city, and it hurts us all. And I think we need to take a moment to say, what are the lessons we learned over the years about crime fighting, about building up communities to create safe spaces for our children to grow up? And what we've seen over the years is that we can do 2 things. One, we could have safe communities by holding people accountable who violate the safety of that community, who violate the safety of our citizens. At the same time, we could reduce mass incarceration and divert those resources to really give communities the resources to build people, to provide services, and to help people heal. And so I would urge this administration and Mayor Adams to look at his community partners, look at the history that we have built, that the lessons we have learned. Where in New York City over the last year and a half, we were able to reduce the number of people who are incarcerated on Rikers Island down to 3,800 in a city of 8.2 million people. 3,800 people incarcerated, and New York was one of the safest big cities in the country.
Right.
We can do it, but it takes all of us.
Share for our audience, especially the critics who are saying, okay, the numbers at Rikers are down. People are not, they don't have to sit in those cells, detainees, with high bail. But there's evidence, according to the critics, that alleged criminals are cycling right through those doors and going right back out on the street and committing crimes. What do you say to that?
I would say to that I think that is a reaction to some of the hurt communities are experiencing right now. I think when we look at the data, the people who are currently incarcerated, many of the people who are currently incarcerated on Rikers Island have been there for a very long time. People are not cycling through Rikers Island. That's one of the reasons why we've seen the number go from 3,800 up to close to 6,000. When I got to Department of Corrections as the first deputy commissioner, the numbers skyrocketed because cases wasn't being processed. People were lingering around in jails. 35% of the officers weren't available to work with incarcerated people. Safety issues were of real concern for both officers and incarcerated people. So what we need to do is to stop trying to get to quick fixes and trying to put out sound bites. We need to be focused, we need to be strategic, and we need to be in partnership. The work that the Fortune Society does is crime prevention, is community safety. And we have been around for 54 years providing a range of services to help people rebuild their lives. The piece of work that helped me change my life as a man who was formerly incarcerated and cycled through the system and thought that my life would be going in and out of prison was education. College and prison was the foundation that helped me launch a new life, to help me see that all of the messages I heard about who I am and what I would do were all lies, that I knew after education that I could rebuild my life, I could make decisions, and I was smart enough to build a new life. And 30 years later, I'm the first formerly incarcerated first deputy commissioner of the Department of Corrections, deputy CEO of Fortune Society, and so on and so forth. So we know what works. We just have to lean in together. And I would encourage the mayor to include his community partners in this strategy.
Okay, Stanley Richards of the Fortune Society. You know, we're very proud of you for the way you turned your life around, and you are an inspiration to so many. Appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.